Hello, welcome to Down with Dragons here on Monsters of Roll. I am DM Scott, with me -1 as always.
Wait for it. Killian playing Maven Corpse Flower, Circle of Spores Druid who's stuck between a rock and a flying ship.
And Mick playing Holliver the Worm, a gnome relic hunter, actually a rogue / warlock, finding his way with this new crew and trying to basically kill the gods, if you can.
And Catherine playing Juniper Swift, a cleric / captain of the SS Indecision.
Here, here.
So as you can see from a little bit choppier of entry, unfortunately Chris is out tonight. He has some personal stuff, I guess, that is,
I'm devastated.
truly more important than us, family and life.
You guys have lives?
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, still hanging on.
Whoops. I've been doing this wrong.
Yeah, so before we I guess dig in, do we have any announcements?
Yeah, we do. I'm always prepared for this every week. We have merch at monstersofroll.com/shop. So you should go check it out. You can get stuff with our faces on it, our logo. If you can think of it, you can put it on a thing and Redbubble will send it to you. Isn't the future amazing? Never mind our crumbling socio-political climate. It's cool. I'm fine. How are you? We have merch. Go check it out. Also, down in the little thing below is you can contact us and use the
Not
hashtag
tonight.
inspiration. Tell us what you like or not. Say hello and give inspiration to your favorite. I made myself sad. I bummed myself out. Send inspiration to your favorite player. Tell us what you liked. If you're catching up on old episodes, hello future people. You can still send them in. We're always happy to hear from you. You can get at us in the link down below. That's it. I'm sad.
Yeah, and also due to the fact that Chris is not here, there is no link below.
Oh, cool. Know where the link usually is, whatever it is.
Yep.
We're on
Normally,
Facebook. You'll find it.
Monstersofroll/shop.
Search
Yes.
it, Google it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just watch this episode and then go back to a previous episode and watch another episode, and the link will be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is targeted at you, Mom, who's going to watch this in 3 weeks.
Perfect.
I see you. Anyway.
So, thank you. Lovely. Lovely. So last time on Down with Dragons, sailing in a ship.
Yep.
I don't know the rest of the words, but you're sailing in a ship. Weinstein's. No copyright. Chris isn't here to yell at me. And some people dealt with some things. However, is having like a existential crisis a little bit, and Maven is having some motherly responses of protection of what to do and where to go, and Juniper's now captain apparently, and that's a thing.
Worst decision ever.
And we have an adorable little teddy bear known as Via.
Blue guy.
It's pretty awesome. You have a mascot if you needed one. Just saying. So I kind of glazing over because there was a lot. It was a lot of dealing with stuff and it's definitely just worth checking out because it was a lot to deal with, a lot to go over. And with that, we kind of came to that conversation of where to go next and wanting to go to like possibly to help Maven's daughter to Sunder Keep, to go to Hailstone where they know they need to be at a certain point. Also picking up some, extra friends and potentially allies, and just taking on extra crew, maybe, you never know. Could be with someone with just the thumb out, So all hands on deck were called by Captain Swift, and all of the different Sealies kind of hopped to and started to assemble and calling out, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, oh yeah, all hands on deck, and everyone comes running. All of you, whether you are already there or at a different area of the ship, kind of can't help but be, caught up in the Sealies yelling at everyone, and make your way towards, the top deck, and all of them saluting very stiffly towards Captain Swift, who awkwardly looks at all of them and is also maybe reevaluating some life choices, some recent events. But here we are. This is where we will dive back in as we zoom up on the flying ship.
I think we're currently circling around.
You are circling.
Just like a little south of Dragonlock, I think.
Correct. Over Lock Lake.
Right.
Which is hard to see. Like you can kind of make out some of the landscape, obviously, but it is covered in mist, obviously, as well. So it's just high points sticking out, and
Right. So, I think we need to be smart about this, because we get one chance to do the right thing, right? Your daughter, currently on her way to do something stupid, just like her mom, and then we're currently on our way to do something stupid. So, what
Yeah.
stupid thing do we want to do first? I think potentially we could do our stupid thing and then still get there before your daughter, before she does her stupid thing. But I understand how you might want to just go stop your daughter. However, speaking from experience with mothers telling you not to do something, that doesn't work ever. They will just do the thing that they were going to do anyway, and now just to spite you. So,
Well, she's gonna die.
There's that. We might too.
Yeah. So if she's gonna die, I'm gonna be there. I brought her into this world, and we're gonna go out.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think we can make it there before her, even if we go get the staff first.
Okay.
And then that might help us. But I want to know how you feel about that.
If we're too late,
Pregnant pause.
we'll do. I'm doing this for her. So if she's not there, I don't. We can go and do what we need to do. We have to be fast.
Can you
I-
keep your head in it?
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that.
Oliver?
Am I even here yet? Did I come out of the library?
Like I said,
Sure.
like regardless of with all the excitement of all the yells, like you would have at least made it to the top deck during the beginning of the captain's
I can just,
rousing speech.
I can imagine Sealy, like a line of Sealy's going, Maven's daughter is killing a dragon, daughter dragon down the ship.
Yep.
Oh god.
If we don't make it, long pause.
I don't know if I caught what the plan is, but I need to tell you, I found some very promising information on how we can cripple or possibly defeat the dragons. The spell called Dragon Rend. It binds them to the ground.
Okay, I really like where this is going. However, before we start this conversation, we need to set a course back to where we were going, which is help me out here.
All of the
Hailstone.
Sealies lean forward.
Ship set course for Hailstone,
Yes.
right? That's where we're going. I
They
think.
all kind of look and then look to the captain.
To Hailstone.
Hey, I'm the navigator. You guys have to listen to me.
They
Yep.
they absolutely get their course from you, but they need the captain to approve. That's why they like nod and then all expectantly like,
Ugh, bureaucracy.
This is gonna be really inconvenient if we ever enter like
Fantasy
sky combat.
bureaucracy.
You may just have to take the gunner's orders on some things. Is that a thing you can do? You know, actually, you should probably check with me first, remembering who the gunner is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set a course back to Hailstone. Let's like the full sails, like full speed ahead. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Batten down the hatches, ye scurvy dogs.
No, I think that's in a storm.
Whatever.
as you two are
Go
debating this,
fast.
all of the Sealies just, aye, Captain, navigation point set, Hailstone, here we go. And they all just take off running. They start, pulling different ropes, and the sails open up into these glittering kind of amber colored sails that sparkle on the light, kind of like solar sails almost, think of. And yeah, everything opens up within a few moments, and the ship starts to turn and take off, heading in a south direction.
Okay.
The ship is lively. Tune starts to get picked up by the other Sealies, which apparently all of them little tone deaf.
Great.
Uh,
Now
Hailstone.
Tell us.
Which dragon are we gonna kill in Hailstone?
No, we have to get the staff in Hailstone.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I guess we could tell us about this spell first of all. This
Okay.
dragon rend.
It seems quite sure that this is a spell meant to, which causes a dragon to be driven to the ground and bound so that it can't move.
I mean, that's amazing. How do we do it?
I have the book. I have the instructions right here. I suggest as many of us as possible take a look at it and try to master it as soon as we can.
Okay, let me have a look.
Oh, I forgot the
Look
book
at
back
this.
in the library. Sorry, I'll be right back.
That was smart. Yeah.
You made an
Guys.
announcement.
It was just so important to tell you about it. Yeah.
I guess we could go with you to the library.
Okay. What is this thing laying on the ground? This big pile of hair. What happened?
That's Viet.
What?
Isn't he adorable?
He looks really good. I like him better this way.
I am not adorable.
Viet? What happened?
Clothes don't fit
You
so
know-
well right now.
You feeling a little sick? That's okay, buddy. Why don't you just stay?
Did dwarves have like a second puberty I never knew about?
It's actually
Oh,
third
no.
puberty. That's the one
Oh.
that'll get you.
Oh,
11.
If a like Teddy Ruxpin almost sized blue-handed teddy bear could just walk away impertinent and just like just
Making a crude gesture that none of us can see through the hair.
maybe, yeah, the digits are a little cloaked in fur. But he makes his way and just muttering about checking the guns.
sure. Yeah.
I think he's super happy about being that adorable.
Growing
Wait.
hair all over and checking the guns. Yeah, I got
If
you.
we're going to fight
Oh
a
my
dragon, I'll make sure we have something to shoot at it.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.
You'll poke your eye out with that thing,
So
kiddo.
cute.
Good God.
Hard to take him seriously when he's so
I
adorable.
know.
It
Put
does
him in
seem
my
to have
Look
a
at that
tail
spell.
that is just angrily wagging.
Oh, I love it. It's like a schnauzer.
Did he just like over condition himself? Look how silky and flowing all that hair is.
I don't.
He bites you when you try to brush it. It's not very nice.
Wonderful.
But
Oh.
yeah, let's go take a look at this spell because I feel.
Oh
like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
something
spell,
important.
whatever. Yeah.
Spell, yes. Okay. Heading to the library.
Beep beep,
Look at
library
those short
time.
little legs there.
Yeah, he does have to hold onto the railing and kind of just
Oh
go
my
down the
God.
stairs.
I love that so much.
Yeah. He's not here to object, so I can.
I
make
want him
do
to stay like
whatever
this
I want.
forever.
I'm sure I will hear something about this later. But
It's all
Chris,
worth
there is inspiration coming if you can just take this.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So we all reconvene in the library. The Seeleys are singing a sea shanty or an air shanty, probably more.
Oh my
appropriately.
God.
Air shanty. I love it.
Yeah, air shanties.
Mhm.
Something about they believe they can fly.
Oh my
They
God. No,
can touch the sky, maybe.
I have to go.
They've thought about it every day. You
I'm
know?
late for my colonoscopy. I gotta go.
Well, I mean,
So,
once we cross the threshold of the library, it changes into reading Rainbow.
Oh my God.
oh yeah. In the hallway, you hear a few that are humming something about a spirit in the sky.
This is
yeah,
my
it's-
nightmare. This is Maven's night. We're actually in Helheim. We're in Helheim again.
You never truly left.
Oh my God.
We absolutely are not.
Would that be great?
Um,
That's the season ender. Is you wake up still there?
It feels like I'm there. I can almost taste it.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Each night's sleep is one season.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a
let's
lot.
look
We
at
love
this
that.
book.
Okay, you are in the library, and it is not a very big room. It is probably about 10 by 15 at most, and it is attached directly next to, as you are notified, it's a part of the captain's quarters, directly next to it. And there's, there's some books here, and a lot more scrolls than anything else, but there are some options. A little table in the middle. You could no seats. It is bolted to the ground, but you can absolutely go over this book. However, what would you like to start on this? Like, what are you thinking? What are we doing?
Just to jump into figuring out the spell so that we can use it. Add it to our repertoire of weapons.
Perfect. All right. So right now, as I'll let you, you already have that. So you'll know right now it is in this book, and in the way that it is in the book, it can be used immediately. It will act as a scroll.
Okay.
try to learn it, it will be kind of act as a learning component and be used up in the process. So that is part of this. Also, because we didn't really get into like components really on this, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, we did not. Okay.
Eye of newt, hair of dog and frog.
That would be super convenient. Those you could actually maybe find.
Oh.
So it is a verbal and semantic component. It is a actual dragon scale that needs to be utilized.
Does it have
Also,
to be from that dragon?
what?
Does it have to be from the dragon you're trying to rend, or just any dragon skin?
A dragon scale. It does not say
Okay.
it's not like you have to run up and grab, try to peel one off and then, run away
Yeah,
and
it would-
cast a spell.
Yeah, it'd be kind of counterintuitive to the dragon rend spell, huh?
A little bit.
You can ground it, but only if you can catch it.
With this particular spell, it does take 1 full minute to cast. So, but it lasts with concentration for up to 10 minutes. So you have to kind of plan when you are going to attempt to use it. Dragon scale, other basic magical components worth 500 gold. And it's just generic, magical components of some sort.
Mhm.
And then 1 level 5 spell slot. And it does have kind of in the book, kind of written into it, permanent.
Permanent.
Each time you cast it, you have to give up to a level 5 worth of spell slots permanently, because
Ooh.
it is you are binding something that is made of primordial forces. And so it is a very and you can see, looking carefully at this, even like this page in the book, like it's probably written in like magical ink of some sort, because there's a glitter to it. The parchment is probably made, as you're kind of looking at it, like that could be some kind of scale or like wing like material. Like it is different from the rest of the pages. Which is why this could be used as a one-time scroll, or you can learn the spell, and it takes time, takes some experimentation, stuff like that. You'll need enough, like you'll be spending a little bit more time and money and getting those components to experiment with it, but then you can learn it. But just understand, if you do it on your own, so it is in your repertoire, it takes something from you every time you cast it, because you are ripping at the fabric of the material world, because these are babies of primordial forces. You may be muted, Catherine, because I did not hear that. I saw your mouth move.
Oh no, I said right. I just said it quietly and not really.
Just making
toward
sure.
me.
Just making sure.
Thank you.
Ah.
Okay.
As you can see, it requires quite a deep sacrifice upon the person casting it if you're to learn it. Your ability to be connected to whatever arcane powers you wield will be throttled downward quite significantly.
If you use it.
However, roll me an intelligence check.
Mhm.
Just to make sure you fully understand.
Does he have the concept of like how much magic he has? Because he doesn't know what numbers are.
No.
22.
It just in the way it was written, it seems very severe. 22. Perfect. So you will know that regardless of the Mick, you figure how you're using this for Oliver.
Right.
I'm putting this on you. It is up to a 5th level slot you have to use. You can use 5 level 1s. You can use a level 2 and 3 level 1s. It just has to equal out to 5 levels of magic you are giving up.
That's an interesting complication for a warlock.
And then also one of the caveat is, or not even caveat, bonus, I guess maybe to it, is the fact of this does say when cast, it will affect anything that is considered a dragon. It does not matter size, age, strength level. It's basically if they are or ever have been that have that component of dragon in them, it will work if cast upon them. There is no save. They are brought to the ground and unable to fly.
But they're still able to do anything else.
They are able to do things, but it
Okay.
just takes away the ability of them to be able to fly.
Okay.
And that's what you know for sure. It does have some other jargon of saying there is potential for other things. And I'll just tell you, mechanically speaking, you will make a caster check. If you would use this, there is a caster check involved. And that check, depending on where you fall on the check, is how potent it lands. It can do other effects. That part is not 100% sure. It could take away breath weapon. It could make them completely immobile. It could change their AC. It could take away half their life. Like, there are a lot of degrees of what it can do, but the one thing that is certain, it will remove their ability to fly and bring them to the ground and restrict their movement. Which for any kind of dragon, I mean, is a big move. I mean,
So yeah, as you can see, it's an experimental spell, as it says. What's sure about it is it will bind the dragon to the ground, leaving it unable to fly, but could also weaken it in quite a few other significant ways.
I am not smart enough to understand this spell.
You ever cut off a butterfly's wings?
No. Why would you do that?
You've never needed to use them for a spell?
did the twins ever do that in front of you? Or?
No.
Okay.
I
Well, when you
didn't-
take away someone's ability to fly, it's a lot easier to squish them with your boot.
Yeah, no, I got that analogy before we talked
Cool.
about ripping butterfly wings off of their bodies. Also, if you have the butterfly in your hand, you could just squish it.
No,
there
you
if
pluck it
wanted
out of the
to.
air.
Okay, but then you still have it in your hand. You don't need to rip its wings off before you kill it. Jeez.
We do it.
So a
You've
dragon
never
is
seen
not
a deadwood
Either
butterfly.
way.
You've never seen a deadwood butterfly, apparently.
I have not. I will.
You
give
would want to
that.
rip off their wings. They have mouths.
Okay.
All 16 of them.
That's
Uh-huh.
terrifying.
It is.
Cool. You know who I think
Anywho.
would really love to see this spell is Telsia. Because she is way smarter than I am.
She fakes it real good. Do we have a sending earring?
A what?
Or not a sending earring. Does anyone know how to cast sending?
I mean, yeah, that's a thing I can do.
I can't, so I'm glad someone else can. Could you leave my homegirl a voicemail? Tell her her pizza was delivered. Just kidding. I'm sassy today. I'm sorry. I think we should get them involved, see if they have any way that they can like get up here. Have like a little boat party.
Are they still in the desert?
I don't know.
I think they are. Okay, well, let's let's do this. Let's send a little text to Telsia. What have I got here? See if I even can right now. I don't know where I'm at. Yeah, I can do that. Let's
Cool.
cast a little sending spell to Ms. Blackstaff, Telsia.
Miss, she doesn't or it's never mind. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Never
Ms. She
mind.
doesn't
Yeah.
miss.
No,
I
yeah,
get
she
it.
doesn't miss
I get
anyone.
it.
Yeah,
Get
no, I
it.
was going. I was jumping on it because I was waiting for it, and I was like, you said it the way I didn't want you to. Wah wah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast the sending spell. All right, get my counting fingers ready.
Who's counting for her?
Me, I can do it. Found the boat. Ended up at Dragonlock, headed toward Hailstone. Found really cool spell. Maybe useful. Dragon Rend is one word or two?
We'll say one.
Dragon Rend. Might need your eyes and magical expertise.
Got words left.
That's it.
I don't know.
There's 2 words
That's it.
left.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You just say that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So you send that. You do have a spell slot available.
Yeah.
Okay.
I checked
Just
first.
Making sure. All right. So you send that out. You feel the energy gather as you think those or say those words, and they go out into the world. You eventually do feel within a moment them connect. And after a little bit of a pause, you'll
Just thinking.
hear a kind of I won't even do that. I'll let you just figure that out. All right, Dia. Sounds lovely. Can't wait. Dealing with your mess. Plenty of things to talk about. I hope you're all happy. See you soon. Fuck off.
Okay, we did something wrong. I don't know what. She sounded super pissed. She's dealing with our mess. I can only assume that that's my dad.
Swift dad.
Yeah.
Swift Daddy.
Yeah. That probably isn't a great situation. It's fine, I'm sure. She did say fuck off, so
That's how
Did a
she
great
normally
job.
says goodbye.
Yeah, I've like you hold up a letter of hers, like, no, that's her sign, like there's her sign off.
it's just like it's like her wax seal. Like,
Yeah. Fuck off, Talsia Maelstrom.
Okay, well, maybe she's not that pissed. This is fine. We'll just, once we get your daughter, we'll just swing by and pick them up. Maybe not my dad, though. I don't think I want him on this ship.
So you are right now, just to be clear, to make sure I understand as well, you are making full heading south to Hailstone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
full
no
speed
swinging
ahead.
by to pick them up because you are heading away from them.
Because they're still in the desert, right?
Correct, which is far north. Just making sure. Just making sure that you knew what you were saying as well.
Yes, yeah, because I think
Yeah.
we decided that it was more important to get the stuff first, and I can't remember why we decided that.
I do, which is lovely.
Some sort of like pressing time limit on the end of the world. So
Um, I mean, are you being sincere? I can't really tell. Does Catherine need to roll an intelligence check for Juniper?
For remembering why we're going to get this. I'm sure June would remember.
I mean, I'm
yesterday
sure she
conversation.
would, but Catherine could write notes
does not
or
remember.
watch old episodes.
I think I'm just gonna do that.
All right, roll me that intelligence check.
Dang it!
Yeah,
I
come
thought
on.
I'd get
I
out of
love
it.
that. That's only if you don't write notes. That's the only fair way
17.
I can make you remember. 17. All right.
Yeah.
So there was a whole thing with the fact that Oliver was in the afterlife and that you guys abandoned him, and also the timetable of
Kellen.
What?
You said Oliver was in the afterlife.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at Mick. Sorry. That
Yes.
Callan is in the in the upside down. He's in the afterlife. He
Yes.
is in the in between, and he is doing things. And at a certain point, at a key moment coming up, you weren't there, and
Right.
the person who ended up being there was Slate.
Yes.
Eventually, eventually.
And after my conversation with Slate, being
You
like, "Oh,
sent
I
out-
gotta go get Kellen," and I'm like, "That's not the answer," and he's like, "No, it is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like you felt like there is pressing timeliney things coming.
Yeah. I just don't remember why the staff was important in that.
Oh, the staff's important because that's a job that you were given by Zazozan, because he wants you to do a thing. So he didn't for one, murder all of you. And he
Yeah.
made the trade with Maven for the mirror for his stone.
Yes.
And he
I
was
do
also
remember all of
gonna
that.
let you keep anything you found inside the vault.
That's yes.
Which
and
would
I feel
be-
like
Which was vaguely described as hundreds of years of riches and kind of anything like the many, many magical potentials there.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get that staffy stuff.
Correct.
So
Staffy
we're
staff.
like full speed ahead. Like
you're making it's, and you will all notice without even really having a true concept of numbers and distance to be able to equate that. You guys are moving. Like Oliver, you just imagine this probably is going to take a lot of time off of the journey. Like it's faster than a horse, but I don't know how fast. A lot faster, maybe a little more. It's hard to tell. Maven, Jennifer, you will kind of as you look down at the mist-covered landscape, you will see that when there are little high points in the landscape, and you're able to pick out little things here and there, even just setting distance, even if you don't recognize it, you are moving quite quickly. You are traveling in hours what would take days. And so what normally would be several months to get to, you're probably going to do in a matter of weeks. 2 weeks probably is going to be how fast you're going to get to where it normally take you somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 months to even by horse or carriage.
Okay.
So you are making great time. All right. So as we travel forward, what are we all doing over the course of the next 2 weeks? Is there any kind of growing moments we want to have? Any RP, any research, or kind of working towards things for leveling? Anything in these 2 weeks you want to kind of do?
Yeah. I am wanting to work as much as I can with Sentry, because I'm going in fully cocked. like thunder, lightning, fireballs, the rain cloud over my head. Like I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But you're going with Sentry as your focus. You're doing a lot of meditation, a lot of personal study, things like that with Sentry. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct. All right. Oliver, Juniper, what are you two thinking?
Yeah, kind of along the same lines. I'm working on some swordsmanship. Trying to read some of those books to figure some stuff out, checking in with Maven, making sure like we're still okay. I know this is like really hard. Like making sure everything is running ship shape.
Don't ask. But thank you for your concern.
We'll get to that too.
Mhm.
Oliver?
Yes. Well, I have a question because I'm wearing that circlet that allows me to remember everything perfectly. Would that include the Dragon Rend spell and the techniques needed to learn it?
Currently, yes. You would know everything that you read. You would know at this point, like, okay, this doesn't just make you know it, even with this.
Right.
This would be a type of thing of it's not so much of just remembering it's not a swish and flick kind of just got to remember how to do it. It's a understanding of the magic. It's not just the art of it, but also the science of it, and that takes both practice, because there are parts of it, because as anyone who casts magic knows, it works differently for everybody.
Mhm.
And then classes work even more different. And because we don't have any wizards in our group, learning a spell, as you even start to experiment with it, magic hurts a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Because for people to learn how to do magic, it's not a natural thing. And if anybody understands that, actually, yeah, it is Maven, because she's learning magic that is not a normal thing. And you have to understand and experience the pain of what you're casting and sending through you. So sorcerers, they're lucky. They just get to vomit effects, basically. And druids, they connect with the ground and the spirits, and they kind of shield them from some of that. Warlocks, same thing. You are protected to an extent or granted a buffer. But wizards, when they learn magic, they're learning magic. And they're learning how to just deal with the pain of magic that is not supposed to be theirs, but through practice and study can harness, have to be willing to ride the lightning, if that makes sense. So as you even would experiment with this, that's part of the learning. Any wizard you might know, it might give you a little insight onto why wizards may tend to have a little bit more ego or a little bit more of like a condescending edge, because anybody who hasn't gone through what they go through every single day seems either like a charlatan, a thief, or just an idiot who got a wish granted. Like to do simple cantrips probably still hurts, just for reference. So as like no roles involved in this part of it, but just as you are, if you use that so you can recall it, which is perfect. You can, without any effort, start to work on that, which will give you advantage on some of the roles. It's very high check and stuff like that. And you would know you were going to need more components to do some of the experimentation. because some of that experimentation, like as you use the circlet, is like you're doing a cantrip version of learning, which is good, but real quick you could be like, oh, that's like sticking your finger on the fire. Like it's like that's not pleasant. And that's part of that component learning. That's part of that experiencing it. And if you're going to learn a spell that is outside of what your class can do, especially, but also like a wizardy type thing, you got to learn it.
Okay. That's
So,
quite
knowing
deep
that,
and involved.
what are you doing? Yeah. So just, you can like learn it. I'm not saying you can't. Anybody
Mhm.
can learn a spell. This one isn't even written in a way where it's like only wizards can learn this spell. This is literally anybody who's willing to go through what it takes and cast it without this one-time use kind of scroll type thing. There's a sacrifice, there's things involved. You can learn it. It's not going to feel pleasant. And that's also part of that component of giving up some of that magic. It's doing scar damage.
Okay. Wow, that's heavy. It's a long road and a heavy pack to haul. So I'm tempted to cheat. What would happen
How
if
so, sir?
what would happen if I use that journal of wish from that magic box to just totally satisfy all of the prerequisites in a brief little timey-wimey montage of sorts, backed up by appropriate 80s music, and just go
It's gonna be a montage.
and just zip my way to expertise in this spell with as little sacrifice as possible.
That sounds very appropriate. Okay. So to do so, I'm gonna need a couple things from you. I'm assuming by when you say what if, I'm assuming you mean like, here's the thing Holliver's probably gonna do.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So just to make sure I'm reading the situation right.
Yeah. That's the
you,
impulse. Whether he filters his impulses enough to stop doing it or not, who knows?
okay. Then I'm gonna wait on this part. Okay, so we'll come back to that then. We'll come back to that. We'll maybe cut it up in a couple pieces.
Okay.
We'll work up to that thought and that temptation that you're in line at the store and there's those impulse buys just sitting there. And how often are you going to be here and just see that for $1? I mean, seriously, So we'll start off with Maven.
Yeah, me.
So
That's me.
that is you. Aw.
In the flesh.
So where do you go to get some privacy? There are officers' quarters, but you will very quickly figure out that through some of the shedding that you and Viet and Holliver, like there are beds for all the officers in one room, and then there's obviously clearly the captain's quarters.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to make Juniper regret it even more.
Good. Yeah. And like I sleep on the floor and cry, wishing I had a real bed, not a hammock.
You got bunks. They're built into the wall bunks. Very nice woodwork. Celie spared no expense. She even
Lumber's
carved
really expensive right now too. So
That's fair. That's fair.
Not in the fantasy world. Don't you dare bring all this.
I know, right? Like
fantasy.
I'm taking Aurora Borealis right now.
There is an Aurora Borealis. You are
there is, but not, I'm gonna be up in the crow's nest, baby.
Crow's nest, baby.
Yeah. Right. Up there in the sky.
So one of the Sealies very quickly is like, oh, are you gonna take watch?
Yes, sir. Sealy, sir.
Makes sense. the navigator, you have to see where we're going. Sounds
Mm.
lovely. And it just jumps off the top of the
God.
crow's nest and just
Uh,
disappears into rainbow sparkles.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay. And I'm perched up on the railing. I'm very, very Batman, very much
Very
brooding,
brooding. Yeah.
very brooding. Like,
I am vengeance.
yeah, yeah, like very much so.
I am navigation.
Yeah. Also thinking like my rat husband is trapped in a town that he can't leave, and my stupid daughter is going to go kill a dragon, and I'm so proud of her, and also I'm gonna kill her. Yeah, very,
So
very
as
that.
the navigator sits in the crow's nest, standing, are we doing the like the edge of like the railing of it, or are you going full Assassin's Creed and at the tippy top of the mast?
Railing.
Okay, railing.
Yeah,
And you correct me anywhere that I'm wrong.
I will.
As the ship and the sails are fully open and the ship flies through the sky heading south, the navigator pointing the way sits on the railing staring north.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not really seeing anything because I'm focused on everything else.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm all about this.
Lights are on, nobody's home.
Mhm. So, as this is happening, what are you like? And we're gonna like kind of flash forward. This is for sure at least a day of like whether or not you get off the railing and sit down, or it like actually in the crow's nest and sleep, or
Mhm.
trance, whatever.
Yep.
Course of a day goes by, and you are still at your post.
Yep.
How are you trying to reach out to Sentry? Because you've not gotten a ton from Sentry since you're coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I still have the belt on. It has his name carved into it. And I'm meditating. I took it off and I'm using it kind of like a rosary
Okay.
where I'm thinking of each element as I go through the like motions of going down the belt and around, and just kind of like the things that I've learned, like ruminating on those and being like trying to reach out, being like, there's still more that I can learn, there's still more that I can do, your humble servant beseeches you. I don't know, whatever is gonna flatter him the most. So that's usually when he shows up.
So do you remember the last contact you had with Sentry?
It was after I became a human again, and he said he missed me.
Mhm.
And that was really it.
Okay. And as you are using the belt kind of as a rosary,
Mhm.
and thinking on this, I assume probably in the beginning starts off more of honest effort of prayer and thinking on, like, as you said, fire and all, like the lessons and the experiences, and thinking on all of these, and kind of like there's more I want to learn. Like I'm an open, vessel, fill me, all that.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And then slowly starts to turn more into Maven of just like seriously, like what? Like you're pretty. Like what do you
Yeah,
like, you have
exactly.
really good hair, and I would love to, and just
I'll
going
take
that
you
way.
out for
So
dinner. Like, I'll introduce you to some of my hot friends. What do you want from me?
roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. We love to see it. We love it. Okay. Would you believe it that I didn't have my character sheet up? Me not having my character
No.
sheet?
No,
Oh my
don't you say
God.
it.
I know. It's so unlike me. Okay, persuasion. That's a 4. Yep. Yeah, that's a 4. That tracks actually.
Yeah. And as you say that, like the thought's gonna kind of come to your mind of like, as like I'll introduce you to one of my hot friends or whatever, and then you're like, oh, that's right, like Juniper and all that, like they were like their minds were fixed, and so like you just took away friends that or you didn't, but you know, like it happened. And like, so like you introduced them and then, you know, snatched them away too.
Yeah.
And then, so like,
Well,
you're
that's
kind
not
of like,
my fault.
no, you're kind of having this conversation with yourself though. Kind of like that thought pops in your head of like, oh, like the last friend I for a moment kind of introduced you to. But there was the vampire, like that might have been nice, maybe.
I thought I did. He already knew.
And right. And then you just have like a flash of someone screaming in the desert.
That did happen, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just like you're working on it.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, my downline for this multi-level marketing scheme of a primordial god, it's not, I'm not a very good direct sales person. I'm more of a managerial type.
Yeah, big picture.
And yeah, very
Yeah.
that. Very that. Not really a boots on the ground recruiter type. It's not
Yeah.
me.
You're the tippy top of the pyramid scheme. You're not used to being one of the friends, you know. So like you're trying to work through it and trying to kind of beseech him, but like almost as you do it, you almost call your own bullshit as you're doing it.
Yeah. Maybe I won't introduce you to my hot friends, but I promise I'll at least try.
Yeah, like, well, some of them are really busy and like you probably wouldn't dig them anyway, you know.
Probably wouldn't like them anyway. They're like into postmodern rock, and like, what even is that? It's not even a thing. Like, it probably is actually.
I mean, it is a
Anyway,
thing. But so
whatever.
during that, Oliver,
Mhm.
you are I'm guessing in the library.
Yes.
You're kind of working through the spell, you're looking over it and using the circlet and kind of almost starting like the very beginning process of like trying to maybe use the scroll page, excuse me, as a like component for learning.
Mhm.
Because you have it all up here and you just do those very beginning practice of like just the first motions of the spell, the first experiencing of the magic starting to course through. Roll me a constitution check.
Okay. I'm going to use inspiration on that one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you have inspiration left? What's that like?
Ah, yes.
Delicious.
Maybe I
I'm
should-
sure.
Just use it all to make what I want happen. So 13.
13. All right. Immediately the spell kind of fizzles. And for that split second, roll a d4 and tell
Okay.
me what you get. Give me just 1 second here. There.
How many seconds is 1 second?
Now. Okay, now. Tell me now. Tell me now. Now.
1.
You get the immediate feeling as you start to cast this of the feeling of like cold going into your veins, and like if you've ever had the experience of like donating plasma and you sit there and all of a sudden the room temperature plasma starts to get returned to and it feels like ice in your veins.
Mhm.
Imagine if it was actually ice water returning to you, like going into your veins. Like you just start to have that cold pain that starts to shoot through your hand where you're starting to work the somatic gestures. And
Ice
it
in my
fizzles
veins, but
immediately.
not.
You're fine, you don't take damage, but you just immediately just like, oh, whoa, you know.
Oh, that's peculiar. Well, wasn't too bad. Back to it.
So do you do any kind of preparation for that, or is it more of just an immediate effort of like, let's just try it again? That was probably a fluke.
Some
Because
preparation. Let's, I do.
Because in your experience, I would say just straight off the cuff of your learned self,
Mhm.
you know that there are many things that many religions, many or cultures, races, all that, and heroes and all that through time, they have done in the last, written, time, just without even thinking of what you've learned before that. For casting of certain spells, they do ritual circles. Circles tend to buffer magic and help control it. So like that immediately would be a thing of like, I can make a ritual circle, even though if I'm not using this exactly like a ritual, it should help focus and buffer. Like just that was something you would know immediately just as who you are.
Yes. Yes. Shared effort makes everything work better.
Yeah, and the equivalent of that is think of trying to lift something heavy and you're using a lever. Like that's what ritual circles do. They are just the more involved they are, the longer the lever is. With a big enough lever, you can lift the world.
Yeah. Get by with a little help from my friends here is what you're saying. All right. So would Oliver understand, like, as far as casting using that technique, those 5 levels of spell slots, can they be shared too?
I guess what do you mean shared?
If I'm understanding it right, is it the learning of it or is it the casting of it that you sacrifice the 5 spell slot, 5 levels
Every time you cast.
every time you cast? Okay.
And that's a very good question. And yes, if you take extra preparation time, so for any spell, in my opinion, it's not raw rules. If you want to spend the extra time preparing a ritual circle, you absolutely can bring others into the ritual to share in the load of the components. So if you're asking, can other people share in the spell slot load? Yes, you just know you have to set the spell up before the beginning of the casting. So it's like it adds 10 minutes to the spell casting because you're setting it up as a ritual first and then casting it for the minute.
So that could be a considerable amount of time. What if I were to like make a portable ritual casting circle that I could just lay out on the ground, pre-prepared? Is that something that would be possible?
With like that would be the type of thing of roll me an insight check. Are you trained in Arcana, by the way? I'm not looking at your sheet.
Yes.
Perfect. That's really good. So roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. So dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It's an interesting idea. And the like after you start to think about kind of preparing and giving yourself an extra buffer as you're learning this, you start to, as you're kind of laying out a circle to prepare a ritual circle, just to start practicing this, you start to think about how ritual circles work, the buffering they do. And in a way, you start to re-look at what you're trying to do and learn. And all of a sudden, there's a part of you like, that's what a freaking scroll is. Like, that's what this page is. This page is a ritual circle encapsulated portable. It is doing the work of the ritual ahead of time. What you're trying to do is very much different than that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's very similar.
Huh.
And it's an interesting thought. You could actually make a kind of focus item that would maintain, you'd have to require a certain amount of focus on concentration, but you could pre-prepare the focus of the ritual circle, hold concentration to begin the casting without the 10 minutes right before. So you could basically have like the arrow primed or the crossbow primed, drawn back without the arrow in it, and be ready, but you'd have to be paying attention because your hand is on the trigger. So you can still expel that energy without the bolt being launched.
Yeah, that's so I want to be able to, if possible, duplicate this so that more than one person can use it or learn it. It's not only a one-time thing, but if not, have the preparation cut down as much as possible.
Like, I will say right now, you like, if you spend the time, you could inscribe this not as a usable spell, but as a basic understanding of the spell.
Okay.
Where you'd have to make some extra math and equations, which would be hard for you, but you know what I'm saying, to make it so someone could just learn this spell.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what I was kind of shooting for with the circlet ability too.
I thought you were trying to actually learn it yourself.
Mhm.
If you're trying to transcribe it, you can do that. It'll take time. There's no experimental costs or anything like that. But then you can make the equivalent of like, here's a scroll and here's the 15-page instruction booklet of how to learn how to do what's on the scroll, because the scroll is the basic idea of do it.
Right.
This is the do it yourself version, which then there's no advantage. There's no anything else. It is, you got to spend days and weeks and making checks to just add this to you, and the component cost to do so, because it's a different kind of spell. That's kind of the part of it.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion. I apologize.
No, because you're saying, what do we want to do with our time? That's a good thing to do. And we're trying to kind of equip our whole army as such as it is. So that's why I'm thinking of, trying to spread it around, make it multiple shots instead of just one if possible. Does that make sense?
No, okay.
Want to be able to
I'm
make copies
going
of the
to-
scroll?
What?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like any way I can make it a more than one shot
All right.
Hail
we'll
Mary
leave it-
type of thing.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. And I'm going to, like, we have more thoughts we can do with that as the days go on. Like, this
Alrighty.
was one of your days of doing that, working on it, and
Alright.
the thought starts to go in new directions.
Quite complex, yes.
Yeah. Juniper.
Yeah.
So before we get into anything with Maven, what have you been doing?
Thinking a lot on things. She probably actually having done it once before, trying to meditate and get into that same headspace where she was connected to Slate, but with Callan.
So at some point you'll use another sending. Roll me a caster check.
Oh no, that's a 2. That's plus my 2. That's a 10.
Okay. So on that first kind of attempt over the course of the first day or so, like you all sleep, spend the whole day, and then sleep the next day.
Yeah.
At a certain point, yeah, you do retire to the captain's quarters. The Sealies
Mhm.
tell you where you're supposed to go because you're the captain.
We're like, but
And
You
it's
hear
like, no, no, no,
quietly
no, no.
at night, I wish I had my own quarters. Oh, that would
Yeah.
have been really cool.
Ironically, the captain has multiple of like those little tubes that you can, and so like you hear all
that's so you can hear the
the
mutiny
descent.
starting.
Yeah, so you know
Yeah.
when it's coming. So when they come to your room, the gun's already up. Like, go back to
Yeah.
your room. Um. So you kind of you focus and try to get back to that headspace and send out a sending, and you kind of spend a good like it's a very quick spell, but you feel almost like you held on to that concentration for almost an hour as
Mhm.
like the spell is wandering looking.
And then in
And
oh, I thought that was in.
oh, it's all right. You have anything you wanted to tag onto that?
No, I mean finish what you were gonna say.
I was just gonna say after that, like holding that and frustration, kind of stepping back out on the top deck, you see Maven, who's still perched up there.
Right.
And I'm going like this.
Cool. Before stepping out into the cabin, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
In that after that frustration, she would just write another note. Essentially explaining, I'm trying to connect to your mind so that you have some reprieve from something like I know it can be really lonely there, but we're coming. I just want to keep reassuring you that we're coming. So she just like write a note and stuff it in the bag before going out there, because she knows that that's a way that can be communicated. Like at least that's going somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'm gonna climb this crow's nest. I don't know if I like heights or not. I am okay with heights. So I'm gonna climb the crow's nest.
Okay.
Am I interrupting something?
Yeah.
Am I
Just
I can't
slowly,
do that,
just
you guys. I
slowly.
I'm
can't
not
do
as
that.
flexible, yeah.
I'm not flexible enough to do it.
I know. I'd have to break a wrist
Slowly.
or something.
Slowly pulls the hands away. Yes.
Oh. I mean, I don't want to interrupt.
Oh no, I said
Oh.
yes. Like what's up?
Oh, I kind of want to check in because I know that like we made the decision not to immediately go help your daughter, and that's not
Mhm.
easy.
I'm keeping
I
busy.
kind of yeah. Um, but I feel like I kind of I might know you a little bit by now. And I know that keeping busy means that you're not really okay.
Wow. Aren't you a perceptive Polly? Cracker? Just kidding. Pirates, you see.
Oh, yeah.
What are you saying to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are we not continuing the pirate jokes from
I
last
mean,
session?
it's fine. I just,
Have at it.
I will, I shall, I must. But whether we go right now or if we go after we get the staff, realistically, unless some unforeseen circumstances happen, which they've been known to do, we should still beat them there. And as much as I do not want to be here right now, and want to be there, I know that this is the right thing to do. And while I don't like it, and I don't have to. I can. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
As a
cat-
We don't
mug
have to talk
of
about
grog
it.
falls off the railing.
Yeah, no, my cat just knocked everything onto the floor. Thank you so much. That was really cool of you because you had to sit on my computer.
Just the one cat that looks like Sealy. Just
Yeah, very that. Very that. Okay. You're cute. Okay. Um, I don't have to like it. I have to do something. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fine.
I should probably explain a little bit better kind of where my head's at. So I somehow talked to Slate like currently, not today. It was yesterday.
Did Sealy turn into Slate?
No, like actual like you like sending like that.
Uh-huh.
He's not doing great, not holding out so good.
Mhm.
But he's pretty convinced that Callan is the one that can help him.
Yeah, he's been on a real kick of being magnanimous lately. Could see where
Yeah.
you'd think that.
And I think that might be the turning point. That point of no return where they all sort of have a party.
Yeah.
Because Callan's been in that hellscape for a really long time for him.
Yeah.
You know, every second out here is a lot longer in there.
Oh, I know. And so do you. What are we doing? Are we detouring further?
No. For some reason, I think the staff is the key, or maybe something that we can find in that dragon horde. I don't know. I just
Okay. What do you want to do about this?
I want to do what we mean to do. I want to get that staff, and get back to your daughter. But I feel like we'll learn something that we need to know.
Okay.
In the process, that tends to happen, where you
Yeah.
learn something, you're like, oh, that's what that meant.
It's almost like there's a narrative being woven around us. We're pawns in a
Somebody's rolling some
sick
dice.
game. Yeah.
Or like when your mom tells you, like, hey, maybe don't stick your hand in the fire, it's gonna hurt, and you're like, I gotta learn that for myself, and you do it, and you're like, dang it, she was right, that's what she meant.
Then you realize you actually kind of like fire, and then you burn down your house. I've been there. I've been there. Keeps the predators away.
Okay.
You set your house on fire.
That's fine.
I've
never done that, but
well, live in a hollowed out tree. It's really easy to do.
Sounds great.
Yes. I think that if we're in the horde, we're going to find more than just the staff. I'd be shocked if a dragon's horde was just an empty room with a singular staff in the middle. So, although wouldn't that be funny?
Super convenient though.
It's like a minimalist. I love it. I would love that.
It really matches the feng shui of this room.
Oh my God.
It really just
It's wall to wall IKEA furniture. Oh my God.
Super modernistic with like
I
clean
love
lines.
it. I'm into that.
the table it sits on is like a frozen yin yang
Oh my
coffee
God.
table, you know.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm also a little afraid that we can't do this.
We could very well die in the process. And I mean, that's a very real, the threat of death is always there, but this time we're going in pretty blind.
Yeah.
And the only ally we had that knows a lot about this horde, your father, isn't here.
You know, I didn't think of that.
Mm-hmm.
And now
That's
that you
why
say it
he
out loud,
came with
it sounds
us.
really stupid.
It's definitely a choice that we've made, and I get why. Well, we didn't really have much of a choice for him not to come with us, actually.
It's very true. He actually couldn't have come with us.
Yeah.
Um,
But
we
maybe
did not
there's
go pick him up though.
yeah. Wait, I mean, it's really out of the way.
This country is so big. Why is it why is everything so far away from each other?
Honestly, and Maven's like, she's like crying a little bit, and she's like, honestly, everything's so big and happening all the time.
Yeah.
Ooh, we gotta go.
You know, maybe we can hire someone. I don't think I have any money, but maybe someone will just want to help us.
Maybe.
I have a pittance. I have a pittance in my bags.
Didn't we say we'll go recruit some of Viet's family?
We did. However, they're not in Hailstone. They're in Tureen. Is Tureen a thing? Is that
Tureen is a name that sounds familiar.
It is a location. It is a city.
Okay. Is that where Viet's family is?
Yeah, I think so.
God's counting something and I don't know what it is.
It's damage.
Oh no, it's all psychic
He's gonna
damage.
roll damage. He's done something on a table.
Oh God.
However, Tureen was out of the way, and I think we decided to go straight to Hailstone because, like, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? And if we're trying to do this thing quick so we can get to your daughter, I
About
feel
that
like
time,
that's
about that time,
shit.
all of a
Oh,
sudden
shoot.
you're going to feel a connection in your head, and you're going to hear Telsia's voice.
Hmm?
Where are you, or meeting us? Give location. Next time you leave a dimensional doorway open, don't have a monster behind you and a mess that
Oh, the baby beholder wear Tarrasque. I almost forgot.
Oh no.
almost.
Oh,
no.
oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, so Maven, you just all of a
Okay.
sudden see all of that look cross Juniper's face.
Oh no.
More good
Oh,
news.
that mess.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently we left a dimensional door open, and I think the hellish creature that was so, I don't even know what to call that thing. It was like part octopus with eyes with
Beholder.
hair.
Yeah.
What?
Here's the best
Beholder.
part. All of that has been your response to the spell.
No, that doesn't count.
That
I
is how it
wasn't-
works. The words after the connection's made, the words out of your mouth are the response.
I thought
How
had
do
to
you
choose
think
to
you get-
respond.
Arguments during sending spells. Remember Viet trying to dictate what you said, and then that bled into what you said? That's how a spell works.
So how many
words was that then?
I mean, like, it's 25 words or 24, 25. It's a tweet.
What did I
You
say? I
tweeted.
said OF. I think we left a dimensional
It's not a
we
haiku.
left a dimensional door open, and that thing
You know, the thing like octopus and like
Okay, we're not counting articles. Like that does not count. This is not grammar
I've
school.
definitely gone over 25 words.
oh yeah. No, that's why I interrupted. I was
Mhm.
like, and then you feel that fizzle of like you just
Good
sense
Lord.
that.
Good.
Oh
good.
God. Oh God. Hang on. I'm gonna.
She's gonna be so pissed.
Yeah,
P.S.
she's gonna be pissed. Hang on. I will cast a sending spell.
Roll me an initiative.
Dear
initiative.
Talcia, P.S.
That's
Send.
a dirty 20, I think. Yeah, dirty 20.
I'll let you send descending before you would have gotten her response because I have a 19.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And hers
Um,
definitely would have started with like, no shit, Sherlock.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. Wasn't really our choice to leave doors open.
Blame Sealy.
Blame Sealy. We are headed for Hailstone to get staff. Also, Maiden's daughter is en route to, what was the city she was en route to?
I don't remember. It's cool.
It's north.
North.
Crap.
Well, this would be
5,
a good time to pull up my
4,
map.
3.
Nope. North. Just say
2,
north.
City in
One.
north with
City in.
dragon.
No, that.
That was I was still counting on the 10.
All right, I guess I was off because I thought that was.
Were you off? Maybe I was off. City in north. I can't. What the? Because its name.
No
Dang it.
idea.
Sunder Keep.
Sunder Keep.
You couldn't have given me that, thrown me that bone. When
I
was
could
trying to
have.
remember it.
But then again, I didn't have to.
Fair enough.
I still don't have my goblet of like the tears of play. Like, so
I'm
I just have to
crying
re-
right now.
I just have to remind you.
Kill my husband again. You'll get it. Oh.
I'm not gonna do
Tears.
anything.
Oh, okay. 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 Hmm.
Okay,
He
oh,
might do
sorry.
things
Mm-hmm.
that
It wasn't
I'll
really
have to
our
roll on
choice
tables to
leave
decide
doors
upon.
open.
But I'm at the mercy of the things your
Very
husband that
silly.
you described to me may do.
And he's an idiot just like me and just like his stupid daughter. So we're a happy little trio of idiots.
I had 4 en route to. Because when I said en route to, that was
Been still
5. So I still
analyzing
had
that?
5. Huh?
Okay, hit your 5. Hit your 5. I didn't know you were still working out the. I was.
I was trying to make sure I hadn't gone over, like, because if you
You're
thought I
good.
went out, it's not a big deal.
You're good. So
But I was
you
just,
have 5 words,
okay.
and you can't use Sunder Keep.
to kill
No,
dragon.
you can't use Sunder
Okay,
Keep because I gave
fine.
that to you.
En route to Northern City to kill dragon.
All right, that's 2 distinct options.
Rude.
Don't be like that. Maybe if you cared about my game, you'd remember.
I do. I just can't remember things.
It's fine. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
I
swear.
can't remember like people I love's birthdays. Like,
Hey, feel those feels. All right. So, you get that, and very quickly,
I'm so pissed.
you will hear which northern city, Sunder Keep or Anvil. Also,
There are 2 up there.
only pickup point Hailstone, or is there a stop along the way? Let me know. I teleport.
Oh yeah.
Cuts off.
miss. Did you know that Telsia teleports?
He's just flexing on you.
Yes, you did because she teleported you
She did.
from
I
the desert
forgot.
underground.
Also, which city was it that your daughter was going to? Because I cannot remember. Geography was not really taught in the town that I'm from. That is.
It
like,
was
out of
our
my
town
home.
and 10 miles local. That's all you needed to know.
I can't even remember the name of my character's hometown right now.
Highport.
Pieport.
Highport.
Hi, for geography
that
is the
long
devil.
Maven, which city was it that your daughter, I almost said sister, that your daughter was on the way to? Was it Amble or was it Thunderkeep?
Thunderkeep.
Thunderkeep.
Maven knows.
oh.
She just
Yeah.
knew.
It's going off in my head every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm so angry, I'll be right back. I gotta go. I gotta go.
Is this all on the same night? So I don't even have a
Right now, all of this is. Yeah.
cool.
So
I'm
you
gonna
might
have
be
to
out
use
of.
I'm out of third, definitely. Because if I tried Callan, I sent one to
Try
Telsia.
Callan. You sent to
I've
Telsia.
sent two to Telsia.
No, one to
I'm
Telsia because you
gonna-
received one and responded, and then sent one,
Yeah.
and she responded. That's
Yes.
not two individuals. When you receive it, you can respond without sending.
Oh, well then
So
I
you've
still have
sent
a third
one
level.
and you've sent one. So you have two that you've sent. One
Okay,
to Callan,
then
one
I
to
still do
Telsia.
have a third. Cool.
There you go.
Cool. Thunderkeep. Set course straight for Hailstone. Will you meet us there? Or will you intercept? I don't know Maven's daughter's name. Maven's daughter. Not sure
Oh, we're still doing
where
this. Good.
exactly she's at.
So after a brief pause,
Was that 8 or 9? It doesn't matter. After a pause.
you hear super. Never met Maven's daughter. Can find you earlier if you tell me where. Otherwise, Hailstone it is.
Hey, navigator. Do you have any clue exactly where we are so someone can attempt to teleport onto a speeding ship?
No. We
And
could
then
stop.
almost as they couldn't, like almost as if they could hear you, though you know there's no way the spell works that way. You hear her say, pick a landmark. Morons.
Okay, I look over the ship.
That wasn't to you. That was only in Juniper's head.
She said pick a landmark, moron. Great. I don't even I'll look over the side of the ship. What are we even on? Like what's going on?
Well, currently, a lot of mist. Roll me a survival check. Anybody, like either of you who are really looking to see if there's like
I got good
landmark
eyes.
that you could pick out. You do have good eyes.
I
Tell me what
do.
you see with your elf eyes.
I got a 5, so nothing. I
A
blinked.
bug just
Oh, oh, gross.
Yeah. Went up my nose. Hate that.
Did you tell us both to roll a survivor check or just?
I mean, if you're looking over, like, I feel like you heard it and you would have like, what do we see? You know?
Well, that just flew out. Holy crap. Stop going so fast. Okay, that's a 14.
14. All right. So through the mist, you do look. It does look like a fairly, like, even blanket of mist over the landscape.
Yes.
Every now and then, you can pick out the shape of like the tops of trees and things like that.
Trees. Great.
With a 14, you would be thinking of like, okay, we're probably over top of like Loch Forest, which is a pretty damn big forest. I mean,
Yeah.
there's roads that actually go through the Loch Forest, and it's like, well, this is what you're gonna see for weeks, you know.
Okay.
Granted,
alright.
you're moving much faster, but it's like it's only been like a day, and so it's like,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Should I tell them to stop the ship for a second? I feel like I should. Hey, ship crew. Hey, crew. Can we stop the ship for like a second here?
Aye, aye, Captain, stopping ship. And you'll see all of a sudden all the crew starts to run around, and you'll see them pulling
Cool.
ropes to furl or pull the sails in, and you'll see there's like two sails that are kind of almost like fish fins at the bottom of the ship on the hull, that they actually kind of flatten out so that it's not catching any wind, and they're doing their damnedest to stop the ship.
Okay. I will use a 4th level spell slot now to go back to Tasia.
I can't wait for this.
Y'all should really get
Right.
unlimited talk and text.
Right?
You
I
just
really
got to get a
should
better
look into
plan.
that. What?
You got to get a better plan.
I know. Maybe I can just sort of piggyback onto Telsia's plan.
Right. I mean, you should be.
Grandfathered in.
Yeah, you should think about it, because the thing is these are costing you like 99 cents a text.
I know.
Who remembers that?
I
Yeah.
know. Okay. Sending currently over Loch Forest. Stopped ship. Will wait for you.
Hurry up, nerd. That's
Maven
what
says, hurry up, nerd.
Thank you.
Also, I don't have unlimited talk to text. I don't have unlimited texting.
Oh my god. Oh,
Drafting a response right now currently is what's happening.
it's so good.
I'm so scared. This woman is going to hate me.
My favorite pastime is annoying Talsia, to be honest with you. So you're doing me proud.
Great. I'm so glad that my death will mean so much to you.
Contrary to popular belief, if she says she hates you, it actually means she loves you.
I need to get little template sheets and just write out my responses so I don't have to count.
Oh, well, good. Super specific. What forest? Is there a noteworthy tree? Do you know anything or do you see anything but trees? Or that you're just there in a forest? Kiss, kiss.
Do you see these specific fucking trees?
There was a bug in my eye, so no.
Right.
Really?
Um,
Hey, crew.
Aye,
Are there
Captain.
any-
Oh
Are there
god.
any specific landmarks in our immediate vicinity?
All of them go to the rails and just start
I love them.
Unfortunately, Captain, with the mist, it's hard to tell anything, but there are trees down there. Aye, it looks like there might be a tree or two that looks a little shady, but beyond that, I can't tell.
Maybe we should keep
shady
going
tree.
Yeah,
Hmm?
yeah.
until we
Okay,
find a landmark.
Full speed ahead. You know what? Full speed ahead. What's our next? What does this map look like? What would be the next big landmark that we would pass after Loch Forest?
As all the crew is running, all of a sudden, one of them, like carrying some extra ropes, just stops. I believe if you head south far enough, eventually you'll break through the other side of Loch Forest to the South Loch Lake in Shipton. Shipton and the Loch River, they all kind of converge at the same point. But I gotta hurry, Captain, otherwise we won't make full speed in time. And I just take off
Thank
running.
you. Okay, Shipton. That sounds like specific enough place, right? How long do we think it'll be before we get there?
Say that, and another one with like a peg leg and a crutch comes gimping by.
no,
It's
I
still
love you.
Sealy, and just stops, moves an eye patch to the other side. For my present distance or present position, it'll probably be about a week. As long as the wind holds out, cap
Oh,
them,
good.
and they just kind of with the crutch and come back down, and then just.
Oh man. Okay. Okay, that's gonna be a great answer. Okay. I have one more 4th level spot that I'm gonna use to talk to this person that hates me. We'll be in Shipton in a week. Best answer I've got. Also, this is my last sending spell for today. So sorry for that.
Using your last sending spell to say, "This is my last sending spell." We love it.
Listen, the best answer I have is this is where we'll be in about a week. So
Fair enough. Now I got you. Let me charge my phone and maybe I'll
let me
hit you up
charge my
tomorrow.
phone, yeah.
The reception up here is terrible.
Look for giant fog, I guess.
Oh Jesus!
Giant unnatural
So
fog.
they're in the mist, looking up to the sky they can barely see because of
Yeah,
the mist,
yeah.
looking for more mist.
That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah, that's the reason. You'll get a response after another pregnant pause.
She hates this so much.
Lovely. Theobald says we'll see you there. I know you're doing your best. You're fine. Get some sleep. I'm not upset, only disappointed.
Oh, that's always worse. It's worse.
I'm basically speaking this out into existence in the crow's nest. Like, oh, she's really, really upset.
No, that usually
feel
just
like-
she'll cry. She'll be over it. It's fine.
I feel like if she were here, though,
She
she would
doesn't have to
realize the
cry.
difficulty of the situation. Because I really don't see anything but having trees everywhere. Also, we have already established that geography was not taught in Highport.
Also, you did not establish that you're flying in a ship across the sky.
I did say we got a ship.
Yeah, not an airship. There's, Y axis and Z axis, and like even if you had told her where, there would have been a coordinate missing.
Listen, the Hypor educational system, not the
It's
greatest.
their fault. Stop bringing real world issues into the.
I'm not.
Alright.
I said it was the Hypor education.
Oh, a high part. Yeah.
That's actually my alma
Oh.
mater, so I'm offended by that.
Okay.
You went to Hypor. You went to Hypor High.
Yeah,
Hyport High.
Oh my
I was
god.
head of the academic decathlon.
And I went to Highport Votech, and so,
I think
however,
I'm gonna go sleep
nope,
now because I
nope,
am
however,
completely exhausted.
however,
Yeah.
so
I went to Highport Valley.
Those are our biggest rivals.
I know. We
another
hated
few
you.
days go by. All right, hey, a few days go by. During this time where you've been doing your prep, where you've been doing getting ready to experiment more, you start to go through that thought train. I'm going to, due to the fact of all of the other side routes we've taken tonight, is the work, because as you start to think on this, and without even going into roles, because roles definitely would be a thing that would be required, you start to kind of piece together the work that would be involved in making this a kind of pre-planned ritual, or like any kind of, like, beyond just copying. Like, and I'll say you have at least copied over the course of another 2 days the actual spell into a book of, like, you could research this and learn this spell. Right now, you have basically done a blueprint of how to learn it from the scroll. You have done none of the component costs, none of the anything, but you have the skeletal structure written down. You've copied that part at least with the aid of the actual circlet. Now is the choice where it's like, all right, you start to think about what it's going to take to build a whether it be a focal construct like a wand or something to focus the energy into, to be your concentration point for holding a ritual going. But as you think about all the work, there is a small part of you that thinks of, like, there might be a workaround, you know.
Yeah, all this work is exhausting. I don't know how wizards do it. I always thought they were full of crap. But this is I don't know how much longer we have, much less how much more focus and energy I have left. If only. Oh yeah, the easy button. I'm gonna hit the easy button.
Okay.
So he's gonna take out that little wish journal and
So you open it up.
Yep.
Inside is a very old looking, kind of just nestled in it like a feather quill. And a blank page in front of you. And you see that there are parts on the page that have definite lines, like college rule, you know, for where things need to be written in script. And it's glittering with like, just like, if you examine it really closely, which I assume you probably have by this point, it looks like a solid line, but if you have a magnifying glass, it's actually tiny, like, runic inscriptions throughout the entire page, border and everything. And it's like, there's a lot of energy all in here. And you know, from the first part of the book, it definitely talks about the fact of what this can do, and what, like, and not even what it can do, because what it can do is literally anything, but also the warnings, a lot of warnings. Like, a lot of times there are warnings after things of like, here's how to do a thing. By the way, this one starts off with like, all right, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Also, this is unstable. This is experimenting with the idea of putting enough energy into a thing to just make an open vessel of wish. That being said, you might get exactly what you want with a twist. You might get exactly what you want and it's perfect. You might get exactly what you want and then the world is destroyed. You might get nothing what you want. There's like a lot of like, it is designed to do this. And by all accounts, it should do it in some capacity. But there is a bigger realm of error with it. But the simpler the idea, the less chance of complications. So, you are holding a quill, looking at a blank page with glittery borders and college rule lines as you think of the easy way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I would just like to write in the wish journal that I wish to obtain absolute, perfect, infallible expertise with the Dragon Rend spell as detailed in, and I'll put like a bibliography entry for the exact book I'm looking at.
Okay.
How many words is that?
GPS coordinates.
Page
You have a
number.
page number?
Yeah, of course. You know,
What number is that?
This one right here on the page.
You know, I think just saying the Dragon Rend spell and listing the citation
at the bottom.
perfectly.
Like the
Yeah,
name of the book that it came from, an
Yeah.
author.
absolutely.
You know, you know.
I mean, there's no other Dragon Rend spell mentioned in this specific book, so.
Actually, in the abridged, I'm just kidding.
Oh my.
So is that a period? Okay. All right. So
I'll say thank you. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Have a nice day.
All right. I need you to roll me a couple rolls.
Okay.
First one is I need you to roll me a concentration check.
I concentrate so hard. It's 19.
Okay, 19. Roll me an intelligence check.
Burning inspiration.
Sorry. That's where the number part happened. Like when you started to think about like to write what page number, you're like, fuck.
Okay, I intelligence so hard. I got an 18.
18. All right. Good use of inspiration. All right. Now I need you to roll me a D12.
D12 roll is an 8.
8. Perfect. A D6.
D6 roll is a 3.
Okay. Now the D100.
Ooh.
We've isolated the tables to roll on.
Oh, you were just zeroing in on table, huh?
Mhm. Dude, this is a big one.
Stay on target. So the D100 roll was a 15.
Okay. So as you write that and then kind of dot the I, and whether you were joking or not, and go like, oh, go back to go like, thank you, whether you actually did or not, doesn't matter. You don't get the pen to, suddenly you feel like a quivering in the table, like a little bit of an earthquake happening, just a little quiver. And you can very quickly feel that it's coming from the book. And then immediately the door will open to the library and you'll see Viet there as his like teddy bear self with the blue furry hand and look in on you. What are you doing? You shouldn't do things like that without we're talking. Like, we're stronger together. You shouldn't do. And then all of a sudden there'll be this burst of light from the book and a gust of wind. And all of a sudden all the hair on Viet's body would be blown off. And you'll see a dwarf standing there naked.
Wait, including his beard?
Including his beard.
Naked
He has returned.
Viet!
He has returned to himself, but he is now hairless. He is now his full height. Tattoo on his butt of a pantsless.
Fuck.
And,
Yes.
and tattoos
Yes.
everywhere. But you'll just see him look down and just a glare and look. What did you do? As a burst of light shines out from every light inside the ship and a pulse wave goes out across the landscape, which anyone looking from the outside can see the mist separate and open up in that area.
Unlimited power.
God. Oh no.
And that's where we're going to leave off for tonight.
Gosh.
Oh my.
Chris is gonna be so mad.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
back.
But his glorious beard.
Wait, so all of the trinkets in his beard are on the ground. How much did he have in his beard?
He had so many
He had
things
some
in that
items. Yeah,
beard.
he had some items. But I mean, I wasn't going to return him that way, but one of the tables is a less positive version of the area effects. And so, yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
wonderful. I'm so happy that didn't happen.
Why didn't you blow Oliver's hair off?
Because it's not how the table works.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, that is where
Oh
we're going to
my
leave off.
gosh.
Join us next time as we pick up from this specific moment in time, because we will potentially, likely, and inevitably have all our players back. And there are things that happen that I cannot wait for what will happen with this as the ship continues to sail through the sky, heading south to Hailstone, with a brief pause potentially at Shipton, where there may or may not be a very disappointed wizard. So join us next time, next Friday, 7:00 Central Time. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week.
Stay cool, folks.
Thank you.
Hot out there. I don't know if it's hot for you guys. It's really hot here.